the NASDAQ now. Let's see. This is our second long, actually. Look at this strong run up. We pulled back, got long there, and then got stopped, and then it pulls back and gives it actually a nice long right there. But that's in that code's in the too aggressive category. So now we're long again here on a failed turn, and we'll see if the market's still going up here, or if it's gonna roll over. And well, I'm at scratch now, so it won't matter. If we take out that high, then we'll get going. Market seems quite a bit less crazy than yesterday, so we'll see. 30-tick hard target, and we're going to have to break that high to get there. Oil's sideways and dead. Keep in mind too that both oil and the ES are still in simulation. The oil is highly, highly experimental. So the ES will be releasing here along with the NQ in the next couple of days, where oil won't be. Oil needs way more testing. Okay, so the ES just placed an order and got filled short. And looks like NASDAQ's going to come down and scratch me. It's toying with me right now. It's only toying with me if I'm looking at it. If I'm not watching it, then it'll be what it'll be. All right, so scratch in the NASDAQ, and then ES here, we'll see. If we crack that little swing low, and ES is now at scratch. So let's just watch that one play out. No, but it's a great example of what we were talking about in yesterday's video, that what the machine does well is you take the trade and take a loss, and it'll just take the next trade. All right, it just happens to be in this case that I consider this 174 action as too aggressive, so I ended up missing that nice little piece because of that. But there's no fear or anxiety or doubt like a human has. It just makes the prediction and takes the trade, and we just control it by deciding how conservative or aggressive we're going to be, and we control it by managing our risk through specifying that risk in the spreadsheet study. And so filled short in the NASDAQ now on a failed pullback long at scratch, turning out to be my favorite trade these days. Something I never would have done as a human. Failed pullback. And then the ES here, we're seeing if that's going to roll back over and hit that target. So scratch in the NASDAQ, and then in the ES, I'm using a 12-tick hard target. So I'm just tripling my risk is what I'm doing. So the ES, we use a 4-tick stop, so that's a 12-tick target, and the NASDAQ uses a 10-tick stop and a 30-tick target. And it looks like it's going to be one of these tragic cases in the NASDAQ where that aggressive trail management got me. So it's just something to think about. I'm going to continue with that trail method for this week and next. So I'm on a full 4 weeks, a full month of use. And that's the method I used in testing. So I want to just use it as a control. So far, what I'm seeing is that it's certainly more aggressive than I would ever trail. But at the same time, we take a lot more trades. And so I'll notice this. Oh, man, I got stopped out of the tick. But I don't notice the times where it saves me cash because we're trailing aggressively. So the answer there is use the replay feature and do a formal analysis, and that's easy to do now, right? That video went up yesterday, so you can see exactly how to set that up yourself. Change the trail method to instead of 10 ticks to +1, go 10 ticks to -5, and then replay it and see. Larry, the charts and the custom study are not available yet for download. That's how I'm controlling the actual release of the software. I put the server out yesterday, just so we can all work through server installation process and issues. But the software is not, we're not formally released yet. All right, so I sent you a message. I sent everyone a message, but sometimes we don't. Fully comprehend what I wrote.
CL order placed.
So CL went short in sim. Don't forget, that's sim. A good example in the ES where I would, as a human trader, I would likely drag that stop down. I drag it down to here. So you can do that. I mean, CRTR will let you do that, but I'm just going to let the machine do the work here. Okay, so the ES stopped for a 2-tick gain there. We got, how much did we get? 25.75 to 23.25. So again, 10 ticks. That's twice now in the last few days where I got 10 but not 12. So that's something to think about. Again, it's easy to go model that now. Just run it in replay and use a 10-tick target. All right, so long here on, let's see, that's a failed pullback short. So the market pulled back short and the prediction is failure. And we'll see now, we need to pop up just a bit higher to get to scratch. It's a gutsy trade. The market's at a fairly steady downtrend. The ES has this cluster of longs. 187, 101, 187. That's interesting. I haven't done any analysis on successive actions, but as a human now watching it in real time, of course I noticed that. So that's something to think about. All right, so we're at 20, so we're starting to trail in the NASDAQ, and hard target hit plus 30. It's accidental, but that's a nice target in that it's just in front of that previous swing high. Accidental because it's a hard target of 30. It wasn't placed because it's in front of that swing. Eventually, you would like to get to a point where you have the machine learning system deciding on the target, or rather, just set a target that's really far out and let the machine learning system trail for you in an intelligent way. That's certainly on the list. That's pretty far out, but ultimately, that's what you want. You want the same techniques that are applied to entry to be applied to exit. All right, and that's, we talk about the fact that you've got a technology in place now. Start incrementally and step function improving it. So far that exit looks magical. So we went short here in the ES, and okay, now we just hit scratch. So we'll see. The previous trade went 10 ticks before coming back. So my target's 12. So we're just going to continue to evaluate that. Immediately in my head is, okay, let's go do a replay to see if 10 ticks are better in the ES than 12. All right, and so that's something to do. You can just set that up and let it run. It'll take a couple hours. You'll get an answer. You don't have to guess. And the ES, or on the NASDAQ, we hit the hard target of 30 on that long, this magical exit up here. And now we're not participating in the current move down. No predictions. No, you could add whatever you want here. If you want to add whatever, like we were talking about the parabolic SAR, put the parabolic SAR indicator on here. You can do that. Just don't touch anything above that. Anything above the spreadsheet study is off the table because everything in here is loaded into that spreadsheet study. And the spreadsheet study, we reference the cells in that study. And if you start messing with stuff up in here, you're going to screw up that spreadsheet study. All right, so don't touch anything above there. All right, you're only allowed to in the predict study. You're only allowed to change the reversal amount and the time ranges. In the spreadsheet study, you're basically just turning off and on if you're sending to the trade service or not. Short again here in the in the NASDAQ now. And oops, not quite to scratch yet. You need a couple more ticks. The ES target is, we're at 9 ticks there. We need 3 more. Okay, so NASDAQ is at scratch. We want that bad boy to fall hard. ES has gotten ES touched its target but not filled. ES is still sim, don't forget that. Okay, so second hard target of 30 hit in the NASDAQ. ES is just toying with me. And here we are at the end of the day, final result plus 160 in the NASDAQ. Looks like a 1.25 in ES. And the oil clearly struggling here. A highly experimental model here, by the way. That's a minus 150, so that's a max loss in oil. The problem with oil is that we need a breakout behavior because it's just very quietly going sideways and then breaking hard. So we're going to have to wait till I can get to that. Right now I'm busy releasing software. Let's see. So let's take a look at the NASDAQ here and see what ended up happening. Here is what we saw live. So the initial thrust here, I don't recall if the order placed and didn't need filter, if we just didn't place there. Took a loss there and then scratched there. A nice short there. Oh yeah, this one was really interesting right here. This one, where we got short on just a beautiful signal. Right, let's zoom in. This is a failed pullback, right? But this bar actually drew all the way down and then came all the way back and stopped me out since I'm trailing my stop so aggressively, and then rolled over. So that was a little painful. What else happened? Let's see. Along here, again, this is a failed pullback short. So it's seeing this pullback and saying, this pullback here. Where did it go? There it is. So that pullback, and then you're rolling over, and it's saying, okay, that pullback is going to fail. That's the prediction. So we get this just wonderful entry. A magical exit there, 31 ticks. We got out at 30. And then let's see a short here where we cleanly get, wow, another just amazing exit. So here's a case where exit there, here. And that's here. And then get long and take a stop right there. Is that right? Yeah. And then again, wow, 3 in a row. And then we get a short here, and pick up 30 ticks there. And then it looks like we do one last one here, getting short and stopping out. So end result here, plus 160. A lot of trades because there's so much volatility. Have to like some of these predictions, and I certainly love the exits. So that's it for today.